Panharmonicon presents a podcast.
Look, darling, Johnny Ringo, the deadliest pistolier since Wild Bill, they say. What do you think, darling? Should I hate him?
You don't even know him.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Whoa.
Pepperoni.
Like just the word or like actual pepperoni on your tombstone?
Oh,
You don't know the Tombstone commercials?
Oh, like the pizza? No, I'm not.
Oh, that
I
I
thought
think
you
that would
were
make
just-
sense though, huh?
Yeah, I just thought you were asking like a legitimate question.
Oh, that's what they would ask. So,
Wow.
like in the 90s, I think maybe they really petered out in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like knowing these 7-year age difference,
Yeah.
it's like okay, that would make sense. But every Tombstone commercial would be like this person that's kind of like being slated to be executed essentially. And I think they would do them in different time periods. Like it wasn't always just
I
sometimes
feel like I only saw the Western ones.
I feel like
Whoa,
was there more
it
than
was
just the Western ones?
too.
I feel like they were just Western
Maybe
ones.
That's not
Because I feel like they didn't start these until Tombstone came out.
Really?
Really?
Tie-in marketing?
And then it was just like so popular that it just went beyond the.
Well, I don't think pizza was made for Tombstone. I
Well,
think
no,
they
that style of commercial, the
Yeah.
style of the commercial, because basically before the person.
But I think like
executioner
later
says-
on, I think you are correct in that they started doing different like timelines, even doing like modern ones, where they'd be like, "What do you want on your tombstone?" Like maybe about to be like electrocuted or something like that. And you're like,
Pepperoni and
olives
sausage.
and peppers.
So it started as like a Shrek ketchup, like the green ketchup, like a
Oh,
movie tie-in.
Shrek green,
I like
green
those.
ketchup. Oh my!
I think Heinz was doing that before Shrek.
Green ketchup.
Yeah, because they had like green, purple, and blue.
I
And then
vaguely
I think
remember
Shrek came
purple.
out and they like did a branded.
They were like,
Shrek
"Oh,
green
we
one.
already got the green."
Do you think that kids would then Do you think that having like green, purple, blue ketchup enticed kids to eat paint?
Sure.
I
No,
feel like
kids
they
been
literally
eating
had the same
paint
consistency.
forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why like there was that big like you got to take lead out of paint because kids were eating paint.
Maybe they did the purple, green, and blue ketchup because kids were eating paint. So it's like, oh, you're gonna eat paint. Have
Oh,
some
you might as well just
tomatoes.
have our ketchup. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might as well just have something that's
a
actually
little
edible.
bit of a fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, that like
Ah,
barely
okay.
sold apparently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This kind
And I don't think it's because kids were like, "This is weird." I think it was more like adults thought. it
Oh,
was
for
weird.
sure.
So they were
Yeah.
like,
You're like, I'm not gonna buy
getting my
this.
kid
Yeah, exactly.
purple
Yeah.
ketchup.
Just give me the regular ketchup, you freak. Yeah.
But I will say it just tasted like ketchup.
Yeah.
It had all 4 colors. They all
Ooh,
just tasted
okay.
like regular
If you
ketchup.
mixed them, would it just be
It
black?
would just turn into like a brown mess,
Oh.
probably.
That sucks.
I had them all at different times. We never like. I think it'd be weird to just buy like
Fuse them into what? Like they come together.
Use
Do you
all
ever
three
have
colors into one? Dude? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
they fuse into one mega ketchup bottle?
Like
I think they also may have tried to bring it back recently, but I think they were like about to, and everybody's like, "No, we're not going to buy
keep
that."
Yeah, keep that in the
Yeah,
early
sorry about
odds.
that.
I wonder if it's like a nostalgia tactic because
Oh,
like maybe
probably,
you waited
yeah.
20 years and like the kids who did have it when they were like 6. Like, oh, now
It's like the McRib, or I guess like the scarcity thing of just like the McRib is back. It's like, it left.
So
yeah,
weird you
like,
talked about that because that apparently is a thing.
yeah.
Apparently,
yep,
the McRib stays on, like, has stayed on the menu for like very long periods of time.
Mhm.
It's just people weren't buying it, so
Yeah.
they would take it off, and then they let people know they were taking it off. And like, dang, the McRib's gone. They were bringing it back for a limited time.
Yeah.
That's
Limited
fascinating.
2 years time.
Is that the kind of the same idea they would do with like the Disney Vault?
No, the Disney Vault is like forced.
I was about to say I think
scarcity.
that's yeah.
It was originally thought up as a means of like they didn't ever want to do home releases, and then like in the 80s they finally got kind of like forced into it. I want to say like really what happened was I forget the CEO's name, but him and Katzenberg and them came in and they were like, we need to do something because you guys are kind of actually dying. Like and like in the 80s Disney was like they were on the verge of being like bought out.
Whoa, what a different timeline.
Whoa, yeah.
But because like the parks weren't doing like super well,
Sure.
their movies weren't doing all that well, and those were their like 2 main things. They didn't have a lot of television or anything like that. So when the new CEO came in, he had to battle Roy Disney, who's just super set in his ways. And he's like, you guys are going to die if you don't. So him, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and like a couple other people that were brought in by the CEO basically transformed them, along with like Roy E. Disney. Roy's son helped fund like the Disney Channel and helped start doing like the Disney Afternoon cartoons and stuff like that, because they weren't going to do those.
Wow.
They facilitated Tokyo Disney and eventually like the failed-ish like Euro Disney. And then in addition to that, they were like, we got to start releasing a home video, because VCR had been a thing since like the late 60s going into the 70s, and it like really started hitting its peak in the 80s. But Disney were like, we don't do home movies, we'll just do re-releases in theaters, because that should garner more money, but also it lets you know that like Disney quality is theater quality. Like re-releasing on home video is like not Disney quality.
Yeah.
They finally let in, but their whole thing was like, fine, we'll do it, but it's going to be like limited releases so that people aren't just constantly being like, well, I'll just wait till it gets out on home video to watch it.
Yeah.
So that the Disney Vault became a thing.
Okay.
But I don't know if they really do it anymore. Just simply because Disney Plus exists.
Right, I think, yeah.
Like, all that stuff is just readily available. But back then, in like the 80s and the 90s, the Disney Vault was legitimately real. Like, after like, I think it was like 6 months or something, that bad boy went in and they did not make new copies of it.
Wow.
Which is why they tried to actually kind of fight for a while home rental. A lot of movie studios actually fought home rental until it became decided that it was a viable enough revenue stream for them.
Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, on paper, it seems like you're not going to get as much money because people just rewatch it.
But enough about the Disney Vault history
Tombstone.
today. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Panharmonicon Studios Presents
Podcast.
And this is episode number 50.
Halfway to 100.
The Big 50. Thank you for listening. If you can for us, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. It lets us know that you just want more of what we give you. And we're giving plenty. If you're on Spotify, drop a follow. That way when you're like listening to something, I don't know what you got. What do you guys listen to? You listen to Taylor Swift? You listen to Kendrick Lamar? You listen to Bad Bunny? Whoever you listen to. It'll also let you know while you're on there listening to them when we drop a new episode, which I try to do every morning on Tuesdays.
Shows for you.
I think it's 51.
Oh.
Is it 51?
Yeah. Sorry, because the
So
Good, Bad,
Wild
and Ugly is
Wild West.
48. Then Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
It's 51. It is the big 5-1.
Okay.
Next episode is our last.
Whoa, Wild Wild
Our
West
last
is
of
going to
the
be... That feels right. At least personally.
Oh, so that means Wild Wild West is our 52.
Yeah.
Number 52.
Okay. Sorry to interject.
And
No,
we
you're good.
mark
No,
our
good
year
keeping us-
as a podcast.
And I guess that is our little heads up for next week if you want to do your homework prior to
Yes.
the episode.
Watching Will Smith's Wild Wild West, the movie that paid him enough that he didn't do The Matrix.
Whoa.
And I think we're all better off for it. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
it would have been a weird. It'd have been a weird. That parallel world is probably, that parallel world probably has like good things happening in it, but it had the
We just had
unfortunateness
to
of having to
sacrifice.
do it.
Yeah, sacrifice the Matrix. That's the...
Dang. Sorry, Keanu.
Enough about that. How you gentlemen doing this fine Saturday afternoon?
I'm ready for it not to be so rainy. Yeah, the weather has gotten pretty good and warm.
It went
but-
from snow to rain.
Yeah. But could you imagine it just being like 2 straight weeks of snow?
I think I would have just died. Like I would have just like my will to leave, like the will to live would have just left my body. I would have just crumpled.
2 weeks.
Cause shoveling all that. No,
Yeah,
thanks, dude.
man.
I'm not looking forward to all the grass I'm gonna have to cut once all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The grass is like, oh, thank you. I've been stuck under this snow.
What about you guys, though?
I've been playing Leaf Green. I was a sucker, and I
that?
bought it's a re-release of a Pokemon game. So it's
It's a re-release of a re-release.
yeah, re-release of a
Of a remaster.
Remaster, yeah. It was like a revision, I guess. 2004. Nostalgia glasses are on, but also prefrontal cortex locked and loaded. Because I think Dame brought it up last episode of like, I know how to play Pokemon now. So I'm like, okay, like I'm building a team. I got the moves going. I'm cruising through. We tried to do, I guess we didn't try, we did the thing. Mora and I set it up so that we have all 3 of the starters, but it's very unforgiving. Like if your traded Pokemon get too high, they stop listening to you. So the start of the game was very rough because I was like, oh, I'm going to use all 3. And it was not a good idea. I should have waited.
So then they just don't respond.
Yeah, like you choose a move and they're like, oh, it's loafing around, or like, oh, it's ignoring orders, it's going to use another move. So I would just spam growl so that my other 2 were like offensive moves. So it's like, if you don't want to do this one, you could at least choose a move that would hit the other Pokemon. So I was able to game it a little bit, but it was not
it's
worth
crazy
the squeeze.
that they realized that would happen from the get-go.
Yeah,
The very first game, they realized, like, someone's going to try to...
get all of them. Because like the weird thing is like they kind of also... There's a benefit to using a not your Pokemon because they get boosted EXP, so like they level faster.
I still don't understand why that's the case.
I don't know.
You would think
either.
it'd be the reverse, right?
Yes,
like,
yeah.
Like imagine if a dog could gain experience points and you gave the dog up, and because you gave the dog up, it like got better faster.
Right. Like just like,
That
oh,
don't
I
make
know all
sense.
these. Like, oh, I can shake. I can do your taxes. It's like, well, like, what are we
That'd
doing?
be
amazing. Do that,
It
yeah.
would be great.
Like-
yeah.
Well, thank you, other person's dog.
Yeah. Right.
And then but if you trade them back, no, it goes away.
Yep.
That EXP boost goes away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like. What is it? The Pokemon's too familiar with you. It's like, I know
We've been
you,
here
dog.
before.
This guy again. Come on.
But yeah, that's been me.
Leaf green.
Mm-hmm.
That is those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
I did enjoy those. So I recently released. You can tell how we do these. I recently released a So What the Hell Was, which was Jim Cotta, which is just a crazy movie when you actually just sit and watch all of it, because it really is going from this concept of just. I genuinely feel like, okay, so I didn't put it in there, but like it's based off of a book called The Terrible Game, which is about, oddly enough, parts of the concept of Jim Cotta are clearly from this book, which is like the game, which is what I call the Ninja Warrior tournament, and like this like country, and like now the Star Wars thing was not there, but it was because the book came out in like the 50s or something like that. But like the movie clearly is some people were in a writing room and they said, what if a dude who could do gymnastics could also do martial arts? And that was as far as they went. I'm sure those 2 writers, whoever it was, that's as far as they went. And then somebody else came along and said, so I was reading this book called The Terrible Game. I will add that to it. And then they just smashed it all together and made a movie out of it. It's so perfectly 80s goofiness without like all the true telltale signs of the 80s, like fast Lamborghinis and neon cars and like neon lights and goofy stuff like that. It's like no breakdancing or anything like that, but it's got that like just that weird 80s fascination with like the Japanese martial arts. How it's like in the 70s America had like a fascination with like kung fu and then it just moved over to ninjutsu and karate in the 80s, and you see it throughout this entire movie. And the movie is just like, you're like, it's really by the books up until the Resident Evil part pops up, and then at that point you're like, where'd this come from? And then just as quickly as it started, it goes away and it goes back into like the normal goofiness that it was doing before. But if you have not watched Jim Cotta, give this So What the Hell a watch. It doesn't really spoil anything for you, and then give the actual movie a watch. I had fun. If I were to give it Panharmonicon, I'd still probably get like a 1 or something like that. But it was a fun watch. So that's what I've been doing, and I've got my next one lined up.
You gonna tease it?
I'm not going to.
Whoa.
Mostly because I forgot the title of it.
Oh.
But it is another weird one. 80s movie based kind of weird martial arts fusion. Hijinks.
Gus hijinks or?
I don't know yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I've been pulling these because I've been just like giving random clips on like Instagram. I'm like, what the heck is this movie? I don't know. This will be the next one. So that's what I've been up to. Watching movies and talking about them.
As one does.
As one does. And we're going to be watching or talking about some movies we watched now. But before we get into that, I want to get into a little brain teaser with the boys.
Brain teaser.
This one I have pulled from the subreddit of a similar name, which is Movies Plots Explained Poorly, where we give them a plot that is explained. This one is explained. I think you're gonna get this one, to be honest, but it's explained sort of poorly. This one's actually kind of on the nose, and they get a chance to figure it out. In today's movie, Space Jesus is resurrected. No, it's not resurrected. Space Jesus is rejected by God, faces racism, performs miracles anyway. Oh yeah, Space Jesus' family has many issues. One of Space Jesus' parents is the chosen one, but also a casual heretic. And one is racist against Space Jesus and Space Jesus' love interest, and one is just absent. And I should have just started calling him SJ because Space Jesus is just...
That's a mouthful.
Mouthful.
All right. Timer started. Star Wars New Hope?
It is not. I knew you would think it was Star Wars. It is not Star Wars.
Because they have 3 parents? Is that? Or was it just one had a couple different
He had 2
attributes?
parents.
Oh, okay.
One is the chosen one and is a casual heretic. And the other one is racist against Space Jesus and Space Jesus' love interest.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, it does say in one is just absent, but I don't think that's the third. I don't think there's a third parent involved.
Yeah, so that because it's the fact that like Space Jesus plus but your parent is the chosen one.
Oh no, I take that back. There is a third parent.
Oh, 3 parents. So it is like a true Space Jesus thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to rethink the movie. I was like, oh no, that actually kind of makes sense.
Decade.
The 2020s.
Whoa. 2020s. When was it? No. I guess I'll say it. Is it?
Yeah, you weren't expecting so recent.
No, not at all. I'm
like,
thrown.
Not at all.
Is it Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
No. Okay. I guess
I was trying to piece together like where that thought process could have gone.
Yeah,
like,
'cause
I
his
could
dad
see
is a
it because his
planet.
dad is a planet. But
Yeah, but I guess he wouldn't be the chosen one. The chosen one.
But also the racism. The racism is racist against the Space Jesus and his girlfriend. Is what you
Space
said.
Jesus is. Is it Superman? No.
he is a Space Jesus, but not this one.
Okay.
He is a Space Jesus.
I also like that thinking because he has multiple parents.
Space Jesus.
But I guess they weren't racist into that. Can we get a genre, please?
Action, adventure, sci-fi, fantasy.
I gotta admit, those were pretty much all of the genres that I expected.
Yeah.
To say what I was hoping would be like the defining factor is whether or not it was
horror
comedy.
or yeah,
Or something
okay.
like that would like is it grounded? Is it flamboyantly funny? But
because now this is just a test of movies that came out recently.
yeah,
Because I guess it is 2026, so that's 6 years of movies. So that's not.
Yeah, crazy.
yeah, that's. This just started. Like it just started, dude. The pandemic just happened. Like everything was just shut down. Like last month, it felt like.
Yep.
Oh boy, this is tough. We got 2 minutes. We're at the 2 minute mark.
Because then it's really the space of it all, unless that's the red herring. Oh, I guess is there a red herring, or is it? You said it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's straightforward,
But
which is why the action, adventure, sci-fi, fantasy that genre fits
yeah.
very well. Think your 2020s, 2022 to be exact.
Okay, so this is almost a technically post-COVID world, post-shutdown, post-pandemic.
Post shutdown, yeah, definitely post shutdown. Okay,
I actually do wonder if we've even seen the movie.
is it like what
movies have you seen that have like a space, like a Jesus allegory to them?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a number of, but like this, the racism part that keeps, like for me personally, it keeps throwing.
I mean, if you got spaced, I feel like just sling them out because we might
Just-
hit something.
Okay, maybe I don't have as many as I thought. Because I was thinking like, because I guess if it was a different Guardians of the Galaxy, you would have said like, okay, like I think he would have given us a hint that like, yes, we're on the right track, Guardians of the Galaxy, Superman, things like that. But 2022, that's the, oh boy, 35 seconds. Oh man, no, I guess what the hell came out in 2022?
I know this isn't 2022, but wasn't there like a alien movie named like Paul or something? It was like Paul. Nah, okay. It wasn't Ted. That's where I was going.
Ted, like the Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah, yeah. But that wasn't. It was
We are up.
Rats. Batman.
2022's Avatar 2.
Oh,
Wow.
did not watch Avatar 2.
Yeah, dude. I've never seen any Avatar. I don't really have any.
Oh, you didn't
plan.
see the first one? I don't know why I couldn't see
I was
the
wondering
first
if
The
that's
newest one? Or
No, just the OG.
Oh,
I guess
yeah, no.
OG of
Yeah.
2000.
I was wondering if at some point you're going to ask me if it was like a franchise or anything.
Oh,
Like,
that's a good
it was part
question.
of a
There was a
franchise.
question. There was a question I was going to ask, and then for some reason, like 3 seconds passed, and then it just vacated my mind completely, so I forgot.
And ain't that just the way?
Yeah, that was. I should have known that was going to happen because I couldn't tell you anything about Avatar. Like, I know that the first one was released in 2009, and I guess the other one just came out last year. But I guess there's only 3, so I guess it shouldn't make it too hard.
Paul is the movie I was thinking of. Let me pull this up.
With
just
Simon
to-
Pegg, is that
Not sure,
Simon
but
Pegg, Nick Frost?
it's a 2011 film. So yeah, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Seth Rogen as Paul, and then
Oh, it's an animated movie.
yes, and then it's got Kristen Wiig, Jason Bateman, and Sigourney Weaver. 2011.
I thought Paul was live action, but like he.
I mean,
was...
Paul is
Paul's
animated.
Oh, okay.
The alien is animated.
Like we're not getting like a Mac and Me situation.
No bear suits. There we go. Wow.
That
Avatar
I guess that makes up on the losing side for last week.
Yep.
We move on to our feature presentation. Tombstone.
So I'm just gonna get ahead of this. Because this was a Damon suggestion. Is this? A
Oh, it
movie?
was?
I thought so. Oh well, then maybe not.
I
No,
think
it
I
was. Yeah, I'm pretty
suggested-
sure it was. Yeah.
Oh, I just threw out one.
Oh, okay. Because I guess my question is, have you seen this and did you like this movie?
No, I'd never seen Tombstone.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Well, because I remember, because I thought you said like, because you originally put out 4 movies, and they were like,
yeah.
well, there's 5 Mondays in March, and then I could just when you were like, well, can I throw out Tombstone?
I just said Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
I just knew it was
Oh, Western.
cowboy
Oh, okay.
movie.
So admittedly, I didn't get a chance to watch it again. I have seen Tombstone. I've seen it a few
okay.
times. It's one of like Matt's favorite movies.
Really?
So anytime, like, he
Oh.
would watch it. Like especially we were hanging out over at his place, and if Tombstone was on TBS,
We're watching Tombstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was both of your first times, then I guess seeing the movie.
Yes, sir.
So the way you asked that question though.
I have feelings about this movie.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm glad that. Well, I'm sorry, Matt, in advance.
It's-
But I was so ready to like this movie for like the first 25 minutes, and then the moment they became cops, or like they became like the law of the town, I feel like we just took a hard right, and like things were just kind of happening. And then my biggest gripe. Well, I guess not my biggest gripe. One of the relationship between Wyatt Earp. Also, another was Wyatt Earp a name you had given us as like one of the brain teaser?
Yeah, so there's a movie in the 2010s, it's either 2000s or the 2010s, called
Wyatt Earp? Oh, okay.
Which is the funny thing about it was that Wyatt Earp in that movie is played by Val Kilmer, who plays Doc Holliday in this.
Wow. Okay. Because I just remember, I just have such a memory of you just saying the name Wyatt Earp, and I was like, oh, maybe it's this one.
Yep.
But
Your gripe?
Yes, I thought Val Kilmer was Johnny Depp when I first saw his introduction. So I like for the first 40 minutes, I was like, you should just be Johnny Depp. Because he was like running the coin across his finger, and I was like, oh, Captain Jack Sparrow does that. Like, wow, that's so cool. Wrong guy, just a very thin mustache. I'm just all over the place. But the relationship between Kurt Russell and his wife, like, it just seems like she was just kind of there, and then she just overdoses off screen. That threw me for like I was yelling just like what like because it was just so poorly explained of just she had this bottle and she was like kind of shaky, so I was like, oh, maybe like she is just ill. But then it's like, oh no, she's just a drug addict, and then she's addicted. Sorry, she's a human being. She's addicted to this drug, and then she just dies off screen. I was like, what the like? What was their relationship? Made no sense to me. Like, was it he was just married just so that there would be some strife between him liking this manic pixie dream girl of the Western era?
So there's a lot there.
There's so much there, and I just had to give all my feelings just so I didn't forget.
No,
them.
not a lot what you said. There's a lot
okay.
to that, why that is the way it is.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't know, audience or
Or me,
Andrew,
yeah.
Tombstone is a relatively loose story of Wyatt Earp's life. Wyatt Earp being one of the many participants in the gunfight at OK Corral, which is an actual historic event that happened in I think like 1881.
Okay.
Here's the thing about this movie and the other 10 million movies based off of the gunfight at OK Corral, which is that they all paint the Earps in a very heroic light.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, I think, does it a far bit more than almost any other real movies. There's a lot of glazing of Wyatt Earp in this movie, as if he is just the most greatest thing that ever existed. And the real Wyatt Earp lies somewhere in between fame and infamy.
Mm-hmm.
He is... A lot of people will say he's just a person of his time. Like anybody in the Wild West, someone whose toes much more of a gray line than they do whether good or evil. And as such, did anything he needed to do in order to survive. When it comes to Maddie, his common law wife, he never actually marries either Maddie or Josephine. Apparently, in the annals of history, we did not know about Maddie until the 40s or 50s.
Okay.
Josephine apparently was very guarded on Wyatt's reputation in history, and as such, really tried to. She was his PR manager, effectively.
And Josephine is the
the
actress lady,
the manic pixie actress.
Okay.
The manic pixie girl.
Yes.
She effectively tried to write Maddie out of history so that no one knew that she existed.
Okay.
Because it makes a much better story of the world famous Wyatt Earp, hero of the gunfight at OK Corral, coming upon this actress. It wasn't really until Josephine died that people learned that Maddie existed.
Okay.
And Maddie's relationship to Wyatt Earp, and Wyatt kind of being a reason that she fell into drugs.
Whoa. Okay.
So
Maddie being a reason that Josephine fell into drugs?
Maddie apparently was not very fond of Wyatt before she left for California and died. And it's also seemingly not until California that Josephine even comes into the picture. So there are some loose retellings here.
Okay.
So before we get further into that, I will say that Tombstone released on Christmas Day of 1993. Budget of $25 million and a box office of $56.5 million.
I'm sorry, can you say it again? What was the budget?
56.5.
The budget was 56?
No, 25 was the budget.
Okay.
The box office was 56.5. 76 versus 93% audience at Rotten Tomato. 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb and a 3.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I wondered about the 76 critics rating, and seemingly it's very weird because the rating number is there on Rotten Tomato, but like I tried 10 different links to critics' reviews, and you couldn't read. Like almost all of them were like gone. So I couldn't give a full, and the only one I could try to access was a New York Times article from 1993, and I can only read part of it. It seemed that for critics, I don't think they have the specific gripes that you have, but they do have a lot of gripes.
Okay.
With the movie, basically in terms of things, kind of like its pacing, its depiction of Wyatt, and like the ending. As far as I could kind of glean from the like little tidbits I could get.
Sure.
Anybody who loved the movie just outright loved the fucking movie. They were just like 90 ups.
Wow.
So the movie is, like I said, like a kind of retelling, and it's so much of one that it places Wyatt as like the lead character, but in reality, Virgil is the one that actually brings the Earps to Tombstone. Okay. And in fact, he is the deputy U.S. Marshal of that territory before ever even coming to Tombstone. And as you know in the movie, they're constantly like, Wyatt, you're so legendary. Would you be it? Yeah. The Earps weren't. I mean, they were like I said, people defend them by saying they were of their time, but they were lawmen beforehand. Apparently there are more Earps than just the three. There's Wyatt, Morgan, and Virgil, but apparently there were two more that were there.
Oh, at Tombstone? Oh, wow.
And what was I getting at? So yeah, they were lawmen, but they also were pimps apparently. And it's funny because they do mention like it's not Billy, but I think it's Ike mentions like he calls them pimps in the movie.
Yeah.
But he's saying it from a term of like, I don't know why he uses the term pimp, because he's using it to like say essentially that they're scamming him out of his money during the poker game, even though the person that was a part of that was Doc
Holliday. Yeah.
But because Virgil and Morgan were there, like defending Doc, I guess he just called them pimps. But like apparently they were actual like pimps running brothels in Tombstone.
Whoa!
In addition to being the saloon owners.
Wow,
that's really
that's
strange.
crazy. Yeah.
So sorry. So these are all business ventures they were into before being lawmen, or like
no, they were lawmen
running concurrent. To
they were lawmen first, and then they came. Like, well, Virgil he was still a lawman. Wyatt had been a lawman in Kansas before they came down to Tombstone, where he had retired as a lawman and was wanting to make an honest living.
Gambling and prostitution.
Yep.
And then
their other time though.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
From there, they kind of just Wyatt didn't become a lawman again until Virgil won. I shouldn't say won. He was assigned to be the actual marshal after Fred was killed.
Okay.
So that event kind of lines up, but in a sense, he just temporarily takes on the deputy U.S. Marshal. And in fact, like before, the movie shortens everything.
Yeah,
because all those events actually, the events after the OK Corral fight actually take place after like a couple of years. They just said this happens like immediately after.
Yeah.
But before we get into how we feel about the movie came out, like I said, it came out in December. Mrs. Doubtfire also came out around that time. The Pelican Brief, Wayne's World 2, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, Cool Runnings, and Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm also came out.
Whoa.
Batman actually came out the same day as Tombstone.
Yeah. Christmas '93. Special day.
Yeah.
Got those Cyclops visors.
And then, apparently, Kurt and Wyatt. It's funny that he called his son Wyatt. Wyatt did a interview recently for the Godzilla show that they're on Apple. And according to Kurt, the movie is actually not as good as the screenplay that he was given to join the movie was.
Okay.
The original script was penned by Kevin Jarre, who was also supposed to direct the movie. And a couple of months into it, he actually got fired because production was moving too slow.
Okay.
So they were behind schedule. According to Russell, he then became the de facto director.
Oh.
But according to paper, George P. Cosmatos was the actual director that was replacing Kevin Jarre.
Do we know like what scene that would correlate to? Is there?
Apparently, they had barely gotten into anything. It was just taking them too long to even start up.
Okay.
And this was a couple months into what was supposed to be their production.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry. So there was no indication of how much, like, what percentage of the film they would have filmed by the point that he got fired.
He did not say. Okay. And I mean, watching it, I can't really tell.
Right, that's what I was trying to think if there was.
But according to Russell, he didn't give the specifics on the original script. He just says that it was much better and would have made a much better movie. And he's quoted as saying like, the movie would have not just been one of the great Western movies, but it would have been just one of the great movies. That's how much faith he had in the original script. Apparently, the events that took place during his time directing and filming Tombstone made him a bit bitter, and his time on Stargate suffered because of it. Apparently, he was not very happy and fun to work with on the set of Stargate because of the events of Tombstone.
So did he immediately jump into production for Stargate right after that wrapped?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, so it is based off of real events, but it is a modern Western movie. Mm-hmm. It's a modern cowboy movie, and you can tell. You were saying, I think it was on Outlaw Josie Wells it was on Blazing Saddles about like filming and how like you sit on like a scene for like so long, and you can tell like this was made in 1992. You can tell it was made in 1992. Like there's much more cutting. There's much more quick like camera work and action, and like it feels like what it should, which is a modern take on like a cowboy film. Mm-hmm. But it's just it happens to be based off of real events. So this movie for me was interesting because I knew that it had been what it was based off of, and I knew that everyone apparently and their mama loves this movie. As such, I guess I was expecting it to be more true to what had happened in the events of the OK Corral. I also knew that it was based off the OK Corral. I just didn't. Funnily enough, I thought that the events of the gunfight at OK Corral were going to be at the end of the movie and not in the middle of the movie. And I even so much as said like they're telegraphing the hell out of the fact that the OK Corral gunfight is going to happen, so it must be the penultimate action. But then no, it was in the middle of the movie, and then there was just a ramping up and down afterwards. I also was not expecting so much glazing of Wyatt Earp in this movie. You would think Wyatt Earp was on set. That's how much it was happening. And considering that he apparently was a like leading, what do you call that one? He would be on like early like silent film sets of like cowboy movies.
Oh, like an expert witness?
Yeah.
Not an expert witness, but like a just. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So like he helped shape that like concept of cowboy movies.
Very cool.
So it is interesting to see that like their take on this one was we love him so much.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Did you read anything about, because I don't know anything about the backstory, especially like Wyatt Earp, but you had mentioned that it wasn't until the 1940s that it came out about
Maddie.
About Maddie. So when it came down to it, though, it seems like after that point that any movies made about Wyatt Earp would, especially as you sort of petered out further and further away from the 1940s, because here we're getting to 1993, like why would they still paint him in that light?
So it's very interesting, and I actually did kind of look, and I was doing a lot of research on this one. So it's very weird. The gunfight at OK Corral itself was actually very small news. So much so that it actually wasn't even it wasn't even a part of Wyatt Earp's like legacy until the night, like almost before he died in like 1929. A biographer who was working on his life, he told about it because of the thing that Wyatt Earp before that was known about the most was apparently he officiated a boxing match in San Francisco and like shady shit happened. And he was like a controversial like ending to the fight. And that's what he was known about. Like that's what he was known for. And it was not the gunfight at OK Corral.
Did that boxing match take place before?
It happened in like it was either the 1890s or the 1900s. It happened after he had left Tombstone. And he was not considered legendary as far as like being a lawman was concerned. He was just like he had worked in a couple places in Kansas. The events at Tombstone happened. Even his whole like what's called like Wyatt Earp's ride, which is basically the back half of the movie. Even that isn't really like all that talked about. So apparently, in between the gunfight at OK Corral and sometime in like the night, I guess when it was just as not known, the fight itself is actually was considered like controversial in that it could have gone either way. I hate to be giving more of a history lesson than a movie review, but in the movie, it's seen that the Cochise County Cowboys are just like a villainous gang, right?
Yeah,
they seem to be pretty like ruthless.
Yeah,
but yes, they were criminals. I won't take that away. Like they're so much so that in that area, people didn't want to be called cowboys. Like the actual real cowboys were just called cowherders in that area because they didn't want to be associated with the Cochise County Cowboys. Yeah, the Cochise County Cowboys would go down to Mexico and still herdle herds cattle. I don't know why herding cattle. Yeah. They would steal cattle and like guns and stuff, and then take them up to Tombstone and other areas in like Arizona and Texas and sell them because at that time Mexico was kind of like Trump and had like heavy taxes on those like items coming into into Mexico, but they would make a killing selling them out of it. So they would go down there and steal it.
By the way,
He loves Tombstone. Big Kurt Russell guy.
But during those events, the Earps had been running into Billy, Ike, Johnny, and a few of the others, like, kind of a number of times. But this wasn't a situation. Well, it's kind of funny because Virgil actually was sent to Tombstone to deal with the Cowboys situation in some way. And I'm sure the actual historians on this event are like, shut up. But I'm giving what I did learn. It may be slightly wrong, but it is what I remember. He was sent down there to deal with it, and then his brothers and their wives all came. So they got there like very shortly after Tombstone actually even founded. Tombstone founded in 1979, I believe, and by the end of 1979 is when the Earps showed up. So it wasn't as full-fledged a town as it looked like in the movie. But by the time the events of the OK Corral shooting, it was much bigger. There were much more like, apparently there were like 100-something brothels, 3 banks, 10 gambling spots.
Dang.
And like 30 saloons. It was a whole bunch of stuff. But they were running into issues. Wyatt instilled the ban on guns in the town. And then here's where the issue comes in. So the Cowboys come into town. They don't drop off their guns at the saloon like they're supposed to. Virgil initially is okay with it because he had been told that they were going to a gun store to pick up bullets.
Okay. It's
not until like hours later that somebody comes and says, hey, they still have not dropped off their guns. So he says, okay, I'm going to have to go do something about it. By this point, he does. Now, it's funny because he had actually been gone the week before, and in his place was Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
So Wyatt was now back to his deputy duty, and Morgan was there as well as Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday is the friend of Wyatt. That was true and through. And he is from Georgia, which is why Val used that kind of like, I don't want to say dandyism.
Yeah,
but
it was very dandy.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
Yeah. You are the Antichrist. Yeah.
So they get, and it's funny because it's called the gunfight at OK Corral, but it didn't happen at OK Corral at all. Actually, it actually happened like some blocks away from OK Corral. Apparently, there was like during reporting of it, there was like a mixing up, and then like some people called it the gunfight at OK Corral because it must have been like the nearest closest like landmark. And then the movie The Gunfight at OK Corral came out, and then that solidified it as just being that event.
Yeah.
So they're in the alleyway. The Cowboys are drunk, and apparently they had been drinking and gambling all the night before, and were still drunk and hadn't really sobered up because they didn't go to sleep. There's supposedly there's an initial de-escalation that eventually just leads to gunfire. One of the Cowboys, there was a 5-on-5. Within that, 3 people died, 2 people got away, and then 2 people were left unharmed. 3 were injured. It's funny. In reality, Wyatt, the Earps all got injured. Obviously, Wyatt does not in this movie.
Yeah.
And Doc is the one that does not get injured. And then 3 on the other side died. 3 of the Cowboys died. 1 got one ran away. 1 got
arrested.
So because I thought you said 2 got away initially.
I did, but then I remembered that Doc didn't actually leave.
Okay.
Doc stayed. So, but 1 got away. He was like basically the witness. He treated himself as the witness to it, even though he was a part of it. I guess you can be a part of something and be a witness to it. As far as he's concerned, Doc and the Earps basically jumped him. And as such, it was kind of muddled for a long time because Wyatt and them actually were put on trial for murder.
Oh.
But they were acquitted. The people of Tombstone actually did not take very well to the Cowboys being killed. Because there just genuinely was this belief that it could have been that they just went over there and killed them without any type of due process.
Okay.
There was a sort of recent, like within the 2000s, I think, computer / like real re-demonstration of it to try to determine what happened.
How could you even do that successfully? Like, what are the variables that you input?
So it's been determined based off of like wounds. That it is highly possible that the cowboys actually did raise their guns to attempt to shoot before being shot.
Mm.
And as such, because of the fact that like one of them was shot through the armpit, and there wouldn't have been like no damage to the arm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been exposed unless that arm was raised.
Mm.
We don't know.
Right.
None of us were there in 1881.
Exactly.
so it's all, but as you were asking before, like what changed? So I'm thinking Josephine is the big changer there. She did outlive Wyatt a little bit, and as such was kind of just a big PR man for that event as well as his life. So there seems to be some change in media in between that period of time and after that period of time, where suddenly the Earps become much more heroic, and Wyatt starts to take a bigger like role in what's happening. And that's why even with the knowledge of what's happened, it's still kind of seen as like the Earps were in the right because they were lawmen, and like media tends to be pro
Propaganda,
cop.
yeah.
So I think that's what happened.
What a story.
Yeah.
What a
twist of fate, I guess.
Yeah. But it's also, I think, interesting, like, any movies based off of history, especially history that far back. It's how do you ever really, because it's just like such an extreme game of telephone to a degree. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Like, how, like, will we ever know?
Right.
You know, it would be interesting if one day we had access to this device, like an orb, like Rita's orb from Power Rangers, and we could just ask a question of like, how did this historical event happen? Like, and I just wonder how many historical events will be completely changed from like what we've read in our history books or anything.
Yeah, the history is written by the winners.
This movie made me realize just how true that statement really is, because I always think to myself, like, because I'm a big true crime person.
Sure.
Like how often a killer gives like a set of accounts that clearly try to make them look like they were like either defending themselves or like some way in the way that they like the death happened without them being like the central like catalyst of it.
Yeah.
But everything says that they had to be. And it's like, well, the person who's dead can't talk.
Right.
They can't give their side of the story. So you're able to villainize them however you want to try to achieve your goal of not going to jail.
Yeah.
And when we look at something like this, it's hard to say because they were criminals. But we don't know what they were doing within the minutes, because the gunfight at OK Corral was like 30 seconds. And it's funny because apparently like a bunch of shots were shot. There are bullet holes all over the place, and you can tell. I was like, well, they kept that part in this movie because nobody could shoot in that movie.
Yes.
Like fucking damn.
Isn't that always the case?
Dude,
Like,
oh my god, because I was trying not to bring this up in the Outlaw Josie Wales, because like that's just so solidified. They're just like shooting, like it's really just they're just pulling the trigger. Like it doesn't matter where their gun is pointed, they're just firing off rounds.
to your point about that, I mean, I think Matt just texted us yesterday about a situation that was very similar to that. When there was a shooting at a Kroger. I forget which one, if it's like the one on Langdon or which Kroger it is, but
So,
like closer towards.
Mainville, I believe.
Whoa.
Okay. And it seemed like at first the idea was that somebody went into the store and started to shoot, but then he told me this morning that it was just like some guy in his backyard was getting drunk and it was just shooting randomly, and some of the bullets went stray and hit a couple people in the store.
Wow.
And it's just like, okay.
Was he was his house close to the Kroger, or?
I don't know how close it was to the Kroger. I don't know what gun he was firing off
Sure.
with, but it's just,
That's
damn.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
just why would you do that? Why would you just point and just start shooting randomly as if
Doesn't have consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you view a gun as power.
Sure.
And you think that, like, you don't think you have to be able to wield the power. You just know you have it. Because typically in a situation, you might be one of the only people around with a gun.
Yeah.
So if you just wave it about, typically a person's going to be, like, going to back down. But what if they don't back down? Now you got to shoot it. But if you don't know how to shoot, well, you still are the only one with the gun.
Yeah.
You just happen to not be good at wielding it.
Yeah. That's like an Outlaw Josie Wells quote right there, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
In death and in life. But yeah, I did a lot of history talk. But in reality, this movie, I think that honestly, I think everybody who was in it was actually pretty good. I mean, Kurt Russell really does kill it as Wyatt.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott is great. Val Kilmer does an amazing job at being. You can actually, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Depp didn't take
for sure
his play off of that.
Because I was gonna say, like, when you mentioned Johnny Depp and because I'm sorry, you're comparing it to Jack Sparrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like the his speech, like because Jack Sparrow also has that. Oh, what was it? The quiet me, like kind of like very everything is. It's almost as if he just. I don't say rainbows flow off the tongue, but that it's just like words flow so easily. Like he can be such an easy like manipulator or just smooth talker over anything. And it just the cadence of it all does seem very familiar. So that was like oh, I never thought about that. 10 years apart though too, right?
I don't think that Jack Sparrow is American, so it'd be very weird for him to have that like Southern dandyism about him. But he definitely does. That is his character.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was also what was her name? Joanna Pacula. I think she was Doc's.
Oh, like handy woman or whatever. I guess sidekick, not handy woman.
Birdie.
Yes, boss. No, I think she was pretty good as well, considering that she's probably, other than Josephine, the only other female character to get like
screen time,
larger amount of screen.
Yeah, more than 3 lines.
And the other 3, they were just like, we could be sisters. I was like, yeah, that's about as far as they wanted to go with that.
Yep.
Get 3 blondes.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 blonde mice.
Well, also, apparently the Cowboys was led really by Johnny Ringo instead of Billy. And it's very interesting that they kind of like flip that so that they can
have
make
him
that like
take over
Johnny Ringo, Doc Holliday thing happen. But yeah, that was both the events of the gunfight at OK Corral and Tombstone, the 1993 movie.
Glad you wrote that.
Yes, it's very interesting.
Cool. It was a very interesting just story, just simply because I think it's so interesting that it is a thing that happened, and then people didn't really know about it until like 40 years after it happened, and then it just became this like
legendary thing.
Whereas like they're probably done 10,000 actual fights just like it.
Exactly.
But nobody ever said anything about it because everybody died.
It's just the wild west. People just be shooting guns.
And just keep on walking.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, noticing throughout all of the Westerns, or so many of the Westerns, is, like, it's just, like, them killing another human is seemingly just as easy as, like, shooting a squirrel for lunch, man. Like, somebody's going to eventually clean up the body, I guess.
Or not, who cares?
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I do genuinely wonder if, like, killing was so flippant in that time. Or if they genuinely did think to themselves, like, there could be consequences if I do this. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Now, I'm not saying in self-defense. Of course, in self-defense, you probably are going to, like, be like, some dudes are coming up on my property. Yeah. They probably they're not selling cookies. Yeah. Like, take them out. But, like, I can just imagine being upset because I lost in a game of poker at the saloon. And just being like, pow! And then sitting back down and being like, next hand. Like, that, no.
Yeah. And the only thing that happens is, like, the pianist just stops playing for a few seconds. And
yeah.
Like, well, I guess it's time to get back to work.
And then you just like go in the local jail for like some days and then just let you go like, no, that like I would hope that there was more thought process, but should I pull this gun out or let cooler heads prevail? But in a movie, it's a good, I hate to say it, but it's a good visual to just get up and be like, pow, 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 and then like go about your day. Any more thoughts on Tombstone?
I guess a question for you guys to try to take my view out of it. When they're doing, it seemed like there was like the Wyatt Earp ride. Is that what you called it? Was it within Tombstone or was it
by the time
supposed to be?
Like, it was like out of Tombstone. He had left Tombstone. So, so the way the events proceeded was that after the gunfight, some time had passed, and then they were going to be attempting to leave because they were no longer welcome in Tombstone. Not welcomed all that well in Tombstone. So they were going to head back to California, where the rest of their family was, even though they themselves were from Illinois before that. They got on a Virgil who had he had already been shot and was hurt. He was going to California with all the wives, and one of the cowboys was planning on ambushing them at Tucson, where they were getting on the train, when Wyatt intervened and killed him.
Okay.
And then after that point, Wyatt became an outlaw.
Okay.
He then got with some people, Doc, and then they headed out to just start killing everybody.
Okay.
So none of those events happened at Tombstone. They were just on a ride west.
Okay. Because it just the way that it was portrayed in the movie, it's like they're in Tombstone and then they're just like riding in like these big open fields. And I'm like, where the hell are these? Like what is happening? Like they just cut into like what seems to be interesting to the director, or maybe whoever wrote them. Well, I guess maybe anyway. Yeah, whoever was in charge. But because it just there was no fluidity, doesn't seem like the right word, but like there's no like, for me it was so hard to track like the reason why we were in like scene after scene after scene. Like I get it's like, oh, the brother died, that makes sense, but then it's like it seems like the cowboys were just in the town. Like it didn't seem like they were going other places. It seemed like this was like kind of their home base, and like these were the people that killed your brother. Why are we out in the prairie like riding with the squad just like shooting people? Like what? Like how are we out here when we were just in Tombstone?
So he was basically chasing them because they themselves because
they left.
Tombstone wasn't their base.
Oh, okay.
They would come in and out of Tombstone.
Gotcha.
So he was chasing them essentially like
to
towards where they actually were staying.
Gotcha.
I want to say the death of Morgan happened in Tombstone, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
Morgan was,
but he did die like
shot
in real life.
So yeah, he was just like he had been attacked earlier that day, and then kind of waved it off and was playing billiards, and somebody shot him. They apparently were in an alley and shot him from the alley through like pane, like from glass.
Yeah,
and caught him, shot him. The shot apparently shot him in the back, going straight through his spine.
Oh,
and then right back out of him, and the bullet lodged into somebody's like thigh.
Whoa.
That was sitting around like near him.
Because that was another thing. I guess I have so many apparently gripes with this movie. Because it's like Virgil gets attacked, and then he's just like, "Man, I'm gonna go play some billiards." It's like, why would you leave?
Yeah, that's why you don't like shorten those events.
Yes,
because those events are like much more spread out.
Yeah, it's.
I think Morgan died in 1882.
Oh, okay.
So. So it makes it feel like the gunfight at OK Corral happened the next day.
Like maybe a week later, the Cowboys
later that night.
Yeah.
Morgan was killed.
Right. It's like what the and then oh my god. And another thing of like this is anyway, like when Kurt Russell or when Wyatt has like the blood on his hands, he goes out into the rain, and then Josephine, is that what her name is? Mm-hmm. The actress comes up, and then he's like, "Go away!" It's like what? Like what? Like why did any of that happen? And then his wife is just standing there, just looking, and then she just walks away. And it's like so many conversations that needed to happen, they just didn't have.
Like no connective tissue.
Yeah.
Like,
so I think the connective tissue there is supposed to be that in this story, and telling of events, Wyatt really didn't want them to even be a part of lawman, or sure. Like mess with the Cowboys.
Yeah, because he just said like when Billy was just on opium or peyote or whatever the hell he was doing in that tent, and he was like, just leave it be, which is very smart. Like that's probably what Fred should have just let it happen. But yeah, wow.
It's actually really interesting.
Because
Wyatt apparently did catch a lot of flack during that period of time for defending Billy. Because he was not a lawman at the time that happened, and him defending Billy really set the town off, because they were like, he just killed Fred, and they're like, you're telling us now not to just kill him. And then later on, he is kind of instrumental in, like, he is a suspect in both the shooting of Virgil and the killing of Morgan. Like, no one knows who killed Morgan.
Yeah. Like,
in the same way we don't see it in the movie, no one knows who killed Morgan.
Oh, okay.
But Billy, Johnny Ringo, Ike Clayton, and another person are all suspected of potentially having done it. And I know Ike is the one that attacks Virgil at the train and is killed by Wyatt. Right. Yeah. It's kind of all like shorting it.
Yeah.
That much makes
really
it, like,
reduces.
really weird.
Yeah.
But I know they just wanted to hit all the the big important parts.
Sure.
And so and I really do wonder how much of it is what happened versus what Wyatt and Josephine may have said.
Mm-hmm.
So like when Morgan's dying and he says that like they told me when you die you see the light, but I don't see anything at all.
Yeah.
Apparently that is something that he actually did say when he was dying. In the same way that when Doc Holliday is dying, he says,
"Go live."
Isn't that funny?
Oh.
Or if that's funny, I thought I would die with boots on. But he didn't even say that to Wyatt. And he said it to a nurse.
Oh.
And Wyatt never even was there. Wyatt didn't learn that Doc Holliday died until like 3 months after Doc Holliday died.
Wow. So what was his inspiration to go after his manic pixie dream girl?
Which Josephine does definitely fit that role in this movie. And it's funny, I've always known about manic pixie, but I didn't ever know that was even a term until like very recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, she fits.
Yeah, and I can't take credit because Maura was the one that pointed out, like, this is just what she is. And I was like, God damn it.
You're
Like,
calling manic pixie
dream girl?
dream girl.
It's like I'm not like other girls. Like, oh, you want to listen to my vinyl? Like, oh,
And like in the story, her whole design, like her whole role is basically to turn the boring, normal world of like the protagonist, who's typically like a very straightforward, straight-laced person, upside down.
Skew it up. Yeah. I just didn't know that was like, because hearing you use it, I didn't know if it was like an actual term, but it is like an actual thing that they call. Yeah, because when you think about it, there's plenty of those in film.
Like Ramona Flowers is one that I think of immediately when you say Manic Pixie
yeah,
Dream Girl.
yeah. Scott Pilgrim is that? Yeah. Oh,
but there's like different flavors of it. Like it's, I mean, it would, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like it gets represented in different ways, and so it's
I would definitely say that Josephine fits in this story. Like she's
for sure.
Like
oh, my
Wyatt
parents are
is
rich.
Exactly
it doesn't
on
matter.
the up and up.
Yeah,
he is like probably the most straight laced person in the movie, and then here comes this person who just like brings serendipity into his life in a way that he didn't have it before.
Even though she's married, like she knows he's married, he's gonna like, oh, like I want this anyway. Like I'm gonna just, who cares? But apparently they didn't care about Maddie because she just overdosed off screen. So.
Saying that at the tail end of the movie was pretty wild.
Just
oh my god! Decide at the very end you needed to give some narration. Yeah, and those are the things that you chose to narrate. I was like,
they're dancing in the snow.
That's wild.
It's like, where's his wife? Oh, apparently she's overdosed.
Maddie died of an overdose.
Yeah, and it's like the second thing. I forget what they say. Oh yeah, it's Ike was shot and killed like during a murder. Oh, his wife overdosed. Virgil and Angie are chilling in California. It's like, what the fuck? Also, I have a lot to say about Ike's character. So you can't go from piss baby, like I pissed my pants, don't kill me, 3 times to then being this big macho, like, yeah, Billy, kill him. Like, I got my knife into the fence. Like, I'm so cool.
My dude was Ric Flair.
Yes.
He was.
Like, you were pissing your pants.
No.
5 minutes.
Blow.
Yes. Oh my god. I was upset. Like that one was like legitimately. I was like,
made you like seething.
Yes, because I was like, that is such a weird, like just a stupid choice. Just to be like, because then you lose all charisma. Like you lose all like validity and like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. It's like you were pissing your pants, dude. You have piss pants on right now. You did not change your piss pants.
That's fair.
Speaking of not change, I found it very funny that. Maybe they didn't think people would know who the Cowboys were. So like the Cowboys never change clothes.
Yeah.
But the Earps and Doc Holliday go through several wardrobe changes.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah. And then oh my god,
so interesting.
Let me put on this black
keep
coat.
Seeing the Cowboys, and every time you see like Billy, he's always in that red shirt with the handkerchief. And like, so like, okay, you're not a cartoon character. I know you don't have like 20 of these.
Yeah.
Just keep wearing the same clothes over and over again. Then I noticed everybody else was on that side, and I was like, but I just saw Doc Holliday. He's on his like 3rd outfit, and this is like the 4th time we've seen him.
Yeah. But then who's the, oh geez, because then we get two or 3 cowboys that like renounce the ways of being a cowboy, and then they get I feel like they get an outfit change. Like
they do, like right after they switch sides, like when they start riding with Wyatt, they have I even had to like be like, is that them? And then I was like, oh, that is them. They changed clothes, right?
Yeah.
But not the Cowboys.
But
even out in that like swamp, Billy's still rocking the red.
Oh my god!
Sitting out there like, yeah, we jumped you.
I'm just gonna walk out like that. Oh my god!
His plot armor was crazy in that scene.
That was stupid.
That was some wild plot armor. I was like, really? He just said no, and then got up and just started walking. Even Josie got shot. And Josie,
right? Yeah.
No.
Anyway, getting keyed up.
So that was the movie side of Tombstone. After all of the history that we gave before, I think it is probably time to give a certain number, give a certain rating. We know the ones that everybody else is given, but how many Panharmonicons does Tombstone get?
So I'm a little leaning on you guys for this, as it is exciting because I didn't get a chance to rewatch it.
Sure.
But I feel like I have a guess based off of, which is like no problem with me. Like, I know it's like that is Matt's movie like through and through.
I could start. Yeah.
0.5.
Whoa.
And a 1. That's what.
So no, you're good. Yeah. No, I'm oscillating between a 1.5 and a 2.
Okay.
Because like I said, it like the start of the movie was so cool because when they're rolling in, he's like, I'm doing this sweet thing. Like, oh, now I'm part of the saloon. Like, I kicked this guy out. Like, we're really setting up. Like, it had the bones of a very cool like trajectory, but then it just got so like loosey goosey. Which apparently, if they're trying to fit like 10 years of events into a week, maybe who knows how long they were in Tombstone.
Yeah, because the dates you mentioned would have been like 7 years apart, right?
No,
because you said one died in 1982. For you, said died in 1982.
OK Corral happened in 1981.
Oh, okay.
And then when did Morgan die?
Morgan died, I believe, in 1882.
Okay,
so at least a year,
like a year or so. Like, and then the ride is maybe like an additional year. Mm-hmm. So it's like roughly like 2.5, 3 years of stuff happens, and like they condense it into a very short amount of time.
Right. Okay.
But they get to Tombstone in 1879.
Oh.
So
it's them. Okay. It's 2 years of being there before the OK Corral. Yeah. Wow. But I can't remember where I was going. But yeah, so I really wanted to like this movie. It was a very cool start, but then it just got all sorts of sideways. Oh yes, like the acting of it was good. There was moments where I'm like, oh wow, but then it's just like everything outside of the acting, which makes a movie. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Yeah, 1.5 to a 2. I haven't landed yet. I guess we could do 1.75 if that's allowed. Yeah, just do the average of the two.
Gotcha. Well, if we're doing 0.75, I actually give this a 3.75.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed this movie. If it would actually get higher if it wasn't Wyatt Earp propaganda.
Okay.
I think that if it took a more neutral stance, and definitely if I think it took even just like
had more Virgil or something.
I think one, if it did have more Virgil, it'd be good because Sam
Elliott, great,
is a great actor. But I think if it treated the fight as a contentious point instead of just treating it as the Cowboys are bad, Earp and the boys or Wyatt and the boys are good. I think if there was a bit more gray that I feel like they wanted to try to do, but somewhere down the line they were like, no, this is just like Wyatt is the greatest. I think it would have gotten much higher for me. I think it is a very concise movie. It does exactly what it was trying to set out to do. Everybody in it is cast very, very well, and everybody does their job really, really well. I think that and when you step away from it and say like we're not looking at it in a historical context, it's a good cowboy movie. I think it does a perfect job of having now seen multiple cowboy movies. It does exactly what those do, just in a modern tone,
sure,
and in a way that isn't like, oh, you tried to make it more modern. That doesn't work. Like it actually works like very well. I think they actually really took to their movies of the past and said we can do this just with a more post Terminator 2 like stance on things. I chose that one because it's like one of the more like I think it is one of those like movies that define like that switch between like 80s, 70s and 80s movies into going into 90s movies. Yeah, no. I know I talked a big deal about how much different it was from the events of like history and how we all view Wyatt Earp and everything like that. But no, I actually really enjoyed Tombstone.
Nice. Do you want to hazard it? Do you just want to throw out a number, or
No,
are you going to
Like
abstain?
it wouldn't be really. Oh, yes, I would abstain. Yeah.
Good to know.
That's
Cool.
okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think about Tombstone? Hopefully we haven't soured your opinions on it. But if you do have strong opinions about it, let us know in the comments.
Yes, please.
I know people love this movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. We know how Andrew felt about it. So let us know how you felt about it in the comments, both Spotify and YouTube. And on YouTube, if you can hit subscribe for us, hopefully you enjoyed what we gave you and didn't dislike it. So you'd be willing to subscribe and get more of it. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thumbs down if you did not. And hit the notification bell if you are subscribed. My Spotify peeps. This is your first time listening on Spotify. Hello. We are Panharmonicon Studios. If you can give us a follow, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if you can give us a rating out of 1 through 5, letting us know how you felt about this episode and how you feel about the product, we'd also really enjoy that. And drop a comment. What did you think about Tombstone? What other cowboy movies would you like us to watch? What other what other 90s movies would you like us to watch? Or movies with Kurt Russell in them? And above all, we want to thank you all for listening to another episode of Panharmonicon Studios Presents
A Podcast.
And if you weren't paying attention earlier and are still listening, thank you for still listening. Gear up, because our last movie of Western Month is going to be Will Smith's Wild Wild West. So if you want to get in on that, figure out what James West is up to before we get into it next week, that is your cue to find it. I don't know how. It's probably on some streaming thing.
Absolutely.
But definitely find it. And this has been Damon.
This is Andrew.
This is Farron.
And thank you guys for listening.
Welcome to Earth.
Wrong movie.
I know.
Oh, Men in Black? Is that?
The other Will Smith alien movie.
I was like, what? I'm still over here. Wiki wow wow.
No! Son of a bitch! No!